men should be the stable ones. Men don't need to be crying in front of women. And ideally, they're not splitting chores. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but I think that if a woman cannot look up to you in some way, then she cannot respect you. And if she cannot respect you, she cannot love you.
I totally disagree. I
totally agree.
Totally disagree.
Okay, I wonder how they separated the alpha males versus the beta males. Like, do they self-identify as alphas and betas? Because I feel like sometimes, like, we self-identify wrong. You know what I mean? Or, like, did they, like, make them take a test and then, like, the producers put them on a side? I don't know. They probably interviewed them. Yeah, maybe. I feel like they probably self-identified.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. Men are designed to want to sleep with multiple women.
Ugh.
Yeah, I would say I definitely agree that...
Wait, all the alphas came up? Every single one of them? Ooh, men are designed to want to sleep with multiple women. I think... Ooh. From a biological standpoint, I can understand why some people could argue yes. Because, like, if you're gonna argue, like, you know, we're cavemen and then, like, you want to, like, populate the earth with whatever, I can understand that argument. But, like, we have an overpopulation situation going on in some countries these days. So, like, I don't think that biologically, I don't think that applies anymore. Biologically, it makes sense if we were purely animal. Society-wise, no. Exactly. Like, maybe it was true, like, 1,000 years ago, but, like, not now. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, I would say I definitely agree that men, you know, want to sleep with multiple women. I think it's natural because one of the things is because we have so much sperm and that we produce so much sperm, and that makes us want to repopulate the earth, basically. And so a lot of times what happens is I think that
repopulate the earth. The earth is already populated right now.
For whatever reason, you know what I mean? And some guys fall into that. But I definitely believe that, you know, men actually want to be with multiple women because it's just a natural thing in us. This is why you hear all the time, you know, men always cheating and guys feel like they, you know, trying to hide the cheating and everything like that. And if it was natural for them to just want to be with that one woman, then cheating wouldn't even be an issue. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think for the way we were cultured, I agree with that, but also to just through human history, right? For survival, maybe this is old school thinking, but it's just like for survival, you need to have lots of kids. So if someone's pregnant, how do you keep multiplying? You just, more women, right? Not saying it's right or wrong, but it's just kind of the way. I think women even cheat too. It's like 50-50.
Yeah, I think women also want to do their thing, you know what I'm saying, in some situations, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, that was my point. That's what I was going to say. Women also cheat, but I guess, like, I wonder what their answer would be if the question was women are designed to want to sleep with multiple men. I feel like they might not all necessarily say yes. Like, if the question was flipped.
I don't think it's just men. I think it's a natural, like, I feel like because that desire is there, it's a natural thing for, you know, if we're talking specifically men, that desire to want to do it is natural in us. So then therefore you're going to want to do it. So I don't think it's a natural thing to just be with this one woman, but at the same time, when I'm with this one woman, I only want to stay with her. It's almost like I'm lying to myself if I just want to be with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense. But the question is that the end point? Is being with multiple women the end point? I'm of the firm belief that it is important to position yourself as a man to have the capacity to be with as many women as you possibly can, and position yourself in a way where you understand female nature and you maximize your potential as a man. And that's where I don't necessarily agree that just because there's a deeper desire to continue to do it means it's going to be the most optimal thing for you and your own ability to thrive at the highest level and connect with God here on earth.
I was taught not to be.
Oh, okay, I see where he's going. So this guy, this good-looking dude, he's saying that he thinks that men are designed to sleep with multiple women, but that's not necessarily what they should do. Okay.
With multiple women, right? But it's like, especially, I mean, here's the thing, especially when you're in a relationship, right? It's like, it's better to grow together with somebody than multiple people, which I totally agree. But I think in the dating terms, it's like, there's nothing wrong with being multiple women. Because I think that's just dating. It's experimenting, it's finding other people. But are we naturally made to just always be with one person. It's like, if that were true, then these first thoughts of being with another woman, even though I'm in a committed relationship, would never occur. But it comes up once in a while. But it doesn't mean I'm acting upon it. So
And you might be being generous about saying once in a while. It probably goes up quite a bit.
it depends what kind of relationship you're in, I guess, or how good of a day it is, right? Like, but I would say for me, if it was totally natural, even though I was nurtured into only being with one woman, that these thoughts wouldn't occur then.
Right, and the thing with me, I'm non-monogamous, so I have a wife, I have a girlfriend, and I still, from time to time hook up with other girls. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it feels regular to me. It doesn't feel like I'm trying to do it or doing it because I'm forcing myself. It just feels just natural, like it's something I want to do. You know what I mean? And so to not do it feels unnatural. You might just want this one woman for a relationship. I can understand that, but sexually, though, I think it's all BS.
Yeah, I agree. I think a man can absolutely be head over heels in love with a woman and still sleep with other women and it not mean anything to him.
Right.
And I think all men have the proclivity to want to sleep with other women. Now, whether they're able to speak to that and actually act on that or not, or if they've been able to, like you said, like religiously find a way to work around it. And I think religion has been great for that, because if it weren't for religion, we probably would not have society. But I think what's most important to identify is that a man should create choice in his life. And if you have choice, you should be able to do as you wish, particularly like in your case, like in my case, if there's no deceit.
Exactly.
It's the lying. That, in my opinion, is actually the overall problem when guys, tend to go outside of a relationship. They lie to the woman.
Right.
That's the problem.
So when I was growing up, I was under the belief of just being with one woman, right? Like, I was a virgin for a very long time. Then one girl broke my heart. So that caused like a lot of insecurity, resentment towards the other side, right?
Okay, I'm sorry, Kevin. Like, you're not special, okay? Everybody's gotten their hearts broken. Like, we've all gotten our, like, what kind of, oh, one person broke my heart, so I'm gonna all the women I can. Nah, like, that makes no sense. Holy shit. I'm like trying really hard to like go into this with an open mind. Okay. Like I have my opinions, but I'm willing to hear them out. So I'm trying to like not jump ahead and pause every 2 seconds. Okay. But like, it's a little tough right now.
And then I just became like a man whore for a little bit.
The problem is you have guys who are monogamous, but they're monogamous because they're forced to be monogamous, in a way meaning that they have no choice because they don't have the skill to attract multiple women.
And a lot of
I don't appreciate what he just implied right there. He's basically implying that like guys who are monogamous have no game. He's basically saying like, oh, if every guy in the world had the choice, he would be sleeping with multiple women. The ones that are only sleeping with one woman are sleeping with one woman because they can't sleep with multiple women. I don't like that logic. Like, what the is that?
use that as virtue signaling. I would never do such a thing. Well, actually, bro, you can't.
All right.
Oh my god! I can't even!
Can the disagreeer step forward?
I remember when I would like go on tour and things like that, my friends would always try to encourage me to like
Is he okay?
hook up with girls that were on to me,
Is he okay?
but I wasn't really like into it. And it made me feel like
Chad, I don't know if he's okay.
off, like there was something wrong with it. And now I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I'm only having sex with multiple women, so I'm not weird, so I'm quote unquote normal.
No, I'm sorry, bro. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but just from these 10 seconds, you're still weird, bro. And it has nothing to do with whether or not you're sleeping with people. Is he okay? Wait, I'm so sorry. Like, if oh no, sorry, I'm just kind of like, shit, is this who's gonna be debating for the beta side? Because we're not, oh no, I don't think my thoughts are gonna be represented very well if this is the messenger.
I feel like even when I do have sex with these random women, it doesn't give me any gratification. And I know that comes with like random sex in the end, but I know in the back of my mind that like I just like simply don't enjoy this. Like, I've been with multiple women and I've been with one woman, and being with one woman is just so peaceful. As far as like telling young men that they born this way and that they should feel this way, it can really not do damage, but just sort of make you second guess things about yourself. Am I normal? Am I weird? Is there something off about me? Everyone else around me is saying that I have to feel this way or I have to do these things, but yet I don't feel the courage to do those things.
Oh shit. Okay, so he started off really, really like bad for me, right? And then he got better. Like towards the end there, he like said some real shit. It strengthens his argument when he says like, I've slept with multiple women before. I've been on that boat and it didn't serve me well. So I like that he's speaking from experience. I like that. And that's kind of what I was gonna say. Like if you guys have like, okay, so I'm into like the historical Chinese, Korean, whatever you want to call it, like the historical dramas, right? And there's always like one king and he's got like 50 concubines, right? It's never f***ing peaceful, okay? The women are always f***ing fighting. Don't like, it's like, ugh, that sounds like so much work to me. Like sleeping with multiple people and dealing with I can't do it. I can't do it. Ugh.
I will say that's not true though. I don't think that we should promote men sleep with multiple women. I think that we should promote choice and what feels right to you. So in your particular case, I would never tell you to sleep with multiple women. I think you might be doing the right thing to do exactly what you're doing and not do it or stop doing it. It's not about pushing it on the young men, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of young men that have a demon inside and maybe are really upset and frustrated with themselves because they feel a certain way. And it's like, oh, I'm coming out the closet. I'm straight, you know, or super straight or too straight or whatever it is. I think that it's really going to be about choice, man. So if me to you, I tell you, if that you don't feel good doing that, man, I wouldn't do it at all.
Yeah, I agree. In your situation, well, what was happening, and this is what I think a lot of times what happens is you have guys who will have sex with multiple women because they're trying to fill a void. Right. So it shouldn't be about filling a void. It should be about you actually desiring. So you don't desire to do it, so which is why you shouldn't do it.
They're saying like, oh, it's your choice whether or not you want to sleep with multiple people. But if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But they originally said, yes, men are designed to want to do it. So now I'm confused because it's kind of contradictory, you know?
But there are guys who desire to do it, but then they're suppressing their desire. And then it's doing the same thing as you not wanting to do it. Like they feel weird about not doing it, but they want to. Whereas you felt weird doing it, but you didn't want to.
I think it's a society thing. Like what you just said, who's making them feel guilty about not doing it? Other men. The reason, I think women and men, the question was, do you feel that men are meant to sleep with multiple women? Or they're just, you know, that's what they do.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw up my opinion out right here. I was trying to wait until the end to give my opinion, but like, do men really shame each other for not sleeping with enough women? Because I low-key shame men who sleep with too many women. Like, it sounds bad, but like, okay, I might get some heat for saying this, but if your body count is too high, like I don't want to date you. Like why are you spreading your sperm all over the place? Like I don't want to date somebody with a really high body count. So I'm the opposite. Like he's saying like men shame each other if your body count is too high, but I as a female, I'm gonna shame you. Like I don't know. I can't speak for all women. Right? And like, again, I shouldn't be able to speak for all women because not all women are the same. Not everybody wants to get married. Not everybody wants to be in a monogamous relationship. But if you want something serious, I think it's like, it's a bad look. For sure, some men do. Really? Especially while you're younger? Okay, so I kind of feel like it shouldn't be about body count number, right? Because your body count is just a number. Like, I would rather see the quality of the girls you're bringing home. You know what I mean? Like, I think anyone can easily get a high body count if you just get like a bunch of ones. But, you know, if you bring home like an 8, 9, 10, like you're like, I don't know. I think that's a lot harder. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a dude. I don't know. It's something more common in high school or college. Okay. Everyone has a different definition of wife material and husband material. And for me, a high body count would kind of not make you super great husband material. Does that make sense? So I don't know. But that's just me.
And I don't think that's true. I think it's a part of your character and who you are. I do believe that if you're going to be honest with your partner is into it. But do I believe that we are biologically meant and it's in our head because we have to procreate and this and that? I don't believe that. I believe the reason we do it a lot is because it's looked upon as a great thing for men to have multiple women. Women are shamed for that. Shamed totally. I have one son and 2 daughters, and I know the difference of how I felt when they were 15. They're in their 20s now. They were 15 versus him having multiple partners or my daughter.
So
Listen, I'm pro shaming everyone, okay? I shame no, I'm kidding. I mean, like, do whatever you want. But yeah, like, do whatever you want. Like, everyone is different, but like, as long as you don't put your beliefs onto other people, that's fine. Like, for me, like, I don't care. Like, I have some friends who are some real sluts, okay? Like, male and females. And I don't judge them for it. I just, like, it's just not for me. So I'm, like, pro, like, doing whatever the you want. Just, like, don't force other people to think the way that you think. So I don't, like, just because we don't agree or understand the other side, like, we still have to respect them. Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
if I could
You guys keep
struck
talking.
a check for $1 million and never feel that feeling again, I absolutely would. I really, really would. It's something that I really hated myself for, and I felt very apart. I grew up in the South Louisiana. It was a Bible Belt. And I felt very distant from people around me because I had this urge in me and could not understand why I was so different. Like, the biggest self-hate I've ever felt in my life is over this particular subject. I thought I was broken.
And I understand you. And me, again, I'm going to come back with, just being around it. And me, I'm bisexual. I've always have been. But like you heard me say, I've been married to a woman for 30 years. And I've been committed for 30 years. It doesn't that I don't have that desire. It's my character to say, this is my person. And that's who I want to be with.
So that's what you're making a character versus is the drive.
I was going to say,
But then that goes back to, are we just built that way? Because if we're just built that way as men, then there's multiple people that I'm going to want to sleep with.
but I think
Yeah.
what I was under the impression with that question was, are we biologically DNA
Right.
created for that?
Yeah, and you
I'd
answered
say
yes.
Yes, but I loved, and I agree with what we're saying here. It's like, but as men, right, in the culture and awareness and being a human being, having a consciousness, choice, language, we can choose not to. We can go against those desires or urges and stuff.
If you feel that desire and you're honest with your partner, I believe that is true. Do I believe that we are biologically we just biologically want to sleep with more people because we have a penis between our legs and not a vagina? I don't.
Well, let me ask you this, though, because you said you're bisexual. So that means you're attracted to men and women, right? So if you're with a woman, well, aren't you also attracted to men? So wouldn't you want a man and a woman?
No.
So you're just like, I just want one and that's
I made a commitment. And it's not even like I'm...
But there's no urge to want
There's always
more?
urge.
That's what that's what we're talking about.
But that doesn't mean that I'm biologically... I think men and women both have urges.
Where do you think the urge is coming from, though, if it's not biologically inside of you?
I think the urge comes from... I don't think it's a biological thing. I think
temptation, not urge.
But the urge creates temptation, no?
But is temptation bad? Like you say it in a way that's kind of like temptation.
I don't think temptation's bad.
natural.
I don't think it's a thing of... Then that goes back to all of us then. All of us are meant to sleep with multiple people. So then that's just a whole different society thing. But it's not just... The question was, as men, are we? And I don't think so.
But regardless, I think it's important to understand, 'cause I think we are. And if we can come to terms with that, we can begin to move past it if that's what we desire. But if we reject that idea that it's not natural, then we can't move past it if that's something that someone wants to do.
But do you agree it's just men? Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
what I
men?
No, I
want to
think
know.
it's women too.
Okay. That's where I
yeah.
disagree.
Oh no, because we just talking men,
Right.
But I agree that it's men and women.
Oh, this was the question I wanted to know.
What it sounded like.
Wait, he said men and women? Okay, I'm gonna just straight up say it right now. I have no urges to sleep with multiple people. Like, I can't do it.
Was, and correct me if I'm wrong, people started talking about like infidelity and, telling the truth. And I think like the urges and things are okay until you act upon it. And that's when both adults just have to have a conversation about, this isn't working out for me. I still want to, sleep around or whatever you want to call it. It sounds like some people want to have their cake and eat it too, which I don't necessarily agree with. And I think just as long as all parties involved have an understanding of what they're getting into, I don't see the issue.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I could say it any better than he did. That
Oh my god, I didn't even know Eddie was here. Eddie, this is the first time he's talking. Holy shit.
which I
Speak,
feel
brother.
like most of us or all of us kind of agree upon that. In the end, it is a choice. That like, if you want to be in a poly relationship, that's fine as long as everyone's in agreement. Obviously, don't be in a monogamous relationship and then like single-handedly choose to, sleep with other women without telling your partner, like that's when like issues arise.
Submissive women are more attractive than dominating women.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, only 3
Hell
of them
yeah.
this time.
Listen, my shirt says submissive women are sexy. Okay, so
Yeah, it's true, man. It's true. Look, I think one of the most beautiful things about love is being able to fully take care of a woman in every way, whether that's emotionally, protecting, providing, everything about that. Like every fairy tale that was ever written for all of time was about a man saving a woman from a castle and a dragon, right? Or some sort of scenario like that. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. And I have nothing against women being empowered, but I do feel...
Okay, yeah, but in those fairy tales, you're not also sleeping with all the other princesses. You're only sleeping with one princess. Okay, so what is it? You want the fairy tale or you don't want the fairy tale? Because you can't have it both ways, bruh. Like, you like, Prince Charming didn't rescue 8 damsels in distress. It's one damsel.
Like the happiest women in the world are the ones that look up to a man and that he can fight every day to love her and love his kids and his family and provide and be that source of something to actually look up to. Like, I believe a woman can admire a man and it's very, very, very healthy. Am I saying that somebody that doesn't do that is not a man? No, I would never. But ideally, the relationships that are going to work, the relationships in, let's say, the 30s, 40s, 50s, or whenever, we were having nuclear families stay together before we went off the gold standard and inflation pushed everybody to have 2 people have to have a job. Yeah, dude, I do. I think those relationships are much happier when the man could lead a house and be proud of going out and going to work every day and fighting for his family.
Okay, see, this is where I get nervous because I was raised by very traditional parents, so I agree to a certain extent some of the things that he's saying here, not to the degree in which he is saying them, for sure. But I do agree with certain things that he says here. But the fact that he also says like, oh, I want to sleep with multiple women. I am so glad I have a job, okay? Because like this is what is like, he's literally the epitome of what is wrong with too traditional. Because like, sure, he'll take care of me financially, he'll take care of the kids financially, but he'll also sleep with 50 women, and then like he'll probably get 50 of them pregnant, and then he'll also probably have to support all of them, and then he won't have enough money for me because he's got to support 50 other women and kids. So all I can say is, I'm glad I have a job.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think what we have to do is we have to look at general female happiness, because that's really what I'm into. Like, I don't really care what guys think or what girls think. I think I have a unique perspective in that I've worked with a lot of high-performing women that operate in this dominant role. And I work with them for the purpose of helping them be able to reintegrate with that more submissive, connected, intuitive part of themselves that really is connected to their bodies, that if they were connected to their bodies wouldn't be as dominant, at least in the presence of men. And with every woman that I've worked with, there is this deep, deep, deep desire, regardless of what she says externally, to submit to the leadership of a man that she knows can properly hold down the emotional space and really put her interest at the forefront.
Right, because when a woman...
Okay, what he said right there, I think it's true for me. When it comes down to the end of the day, a girl wants a guy that she can depend on. I agree with that. But, but again, like, you taking care of everything else, like, it's not just about money, it's also about emotions, right? And I don't think that you sleeping around with 50 other people is gonna provide for me emotionally. So, like, I agree with what he's saying, but I also disagree with his philosophy. So I don't understand. So this whole thing is just confusing me. That's what I'm saying.
To hold down the emotional space and really put her interest at the forefront.
Right, because when a woman is dominant over that man, she can't respect him. It's just impossible.
Okay, I don't like when they. I don't like when he says that at all. He's saying like in order for a woman to respect a man, the man has to be higher than the woman. So if the man is higher than the woman, does that mean that the man does not respect the woman? Does that make sense? Like, in a relationship, you both have to respect each other, right?
Right, exactly. And the thing is with submission is like if you even look at the word submission, sub, under, a mission. If I have a mission, and this woman is under my mission, meaning I'm leading her, right? Then that is a actual good relation.
Bro, let's not get into how up languages are, okay? Like the male page. Let's not get into the language, okay? English is just English. Let's not think that much deeper into the Latin.
That's going to flourish.
Truly, deep down, every woman would love nothing more than to be more feminine in a role in a family and take on that either that motherly role or that nurturing role or the role that feels supportive to the overall mission of a man. It's just got to be a man worth getting behind, and weak men are the reason why this is a problem. Case in point, look at the workplace. You don't see women applying for jobs to be power line guys or hang steel at steel companies. They're not picketing outside of the United States Army being like, why won't you draft me? They don't want that smoke, bro. Like and that's okay.
Right.
And I can't say enough. It's like, as a man, like, you get to take pride in taking care of a woman, protecting women. What about your daughters, man? You want to protect and provide, care for them. That's okay. Let them.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything he's saying, but again, would you want your daughter sleeping with a guy that's also sleeping with 50 other guys? I can't get past that point. Like, even though I agree with what you're saying, like, traditional values, sure. But, like, I can't, like, just the fact that he's, like, literally saying, like, he has the urge and he needs to sleep with multiple women, like, that contradicts everything that you say afterwards. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Feminine. A strong man doesn't need you to be a man. He say, fine, you can be a woman. You're safe, sweetheart. You come with me. Right. That's it.
My other issue with what he's saying here is, like, that's a lot of pressure to put on a guy. Sure, ideally he can handle all the pressure, he can take care of whatever, blah 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 blah. But, like, it's a partnership, right? And it shouldn't be on one person to take care of the entire family. And I don't know, like, sometimes, like, sure, I'm a girl, but, like, I'm bad at cleaning. I'm bad at cooking. Like, maybe I'd rather make money and then, like, you cook and clean. I don't know. No, I take that back. I'll learn how to cook. I'll learn how to clean eventually.
There were just a few things that I disagree on.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think that in 2023, especially, I think women just want to be able to look to the side and see their partner as an equal.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of women now I don't think they're trying to be men. I think what they're realizing is that the qualities that they were looking for in men, they've always had it within themselves.
Yeah.
If women are submissive, it's mostly for, I want to say, like, the validation for the man. I think they know in the back of their heads, like, they know now that they can do things on their own. I don't think they necessarily need a man, but I think what they're looking for is that intimacy to have a partner. But I don't
that's very
think
well
that they
said.
require one.
That's well
No, they
said.
do,
That's very well
'cause,
said.
you know, a lot of these girls, they usually go home and cry at night from being lonely, from not having a man. They have all these things, and then they're upset they don't have a man. You know what I mean? And I heard you say that, you know, women want to be the man's equal, but you don't see, and maybe this could just be a societal thing, a societal pressure, but you don't see women doing things that could make them equal to the men. You don't see the women approaching the men. You don't see the women paying for the dates. You don't see the women being more assertive to the man. You see what I'm saying? So where's that at?
And they got options. They got so much more options than men.
Well, I'll tell you what you do see. You see a high level of women on antidepressants more than ever, right? And I think that's a bunch of women trying to cope with trying to be like a man when really, let me ask you a question. Are you more attracted to a woman that has a high-paying job or to a woman's beauty?
Why can't the woman with a high-paying job also be beautiful? Excuse you? Okay, to be fair, working in corporate really did make me look less attractive. I'm not gonna lie. Like, less sleep. Yeah. More coffee. Okay, fine. Maybe he has a point. But no, it's not true. There are plenty of very pretty high-paid women.
That doesn't matter to me.
It does matter. It does matter to me.
You asked me. You could, but I would like to say a mother figure.
Oh, I wish he answered that better. He said, what do you mean it doesn't matter to you? What doesn't matter to you? The high salary or the good looks? Because I call bullshit. You're telling me salary and looks don't matter to you? Like, I don't buy that.
Really?
He could have...
Let me ask you a question.
That was not a good answer.
Are you more attracted to a woman that has a high-paying job or to a woman's beauty?
That doesn't matter to me.
It does matter. It does matter to me.
You asked.
Chat. Okay. Yeah, actually, most women with high-paying jobs are beautiful already. I believe that. That's so true because it's not just women. It's like it's men as well. If you're better looking, I think there are studies have been done on this. Like, if you're better looking, you do better in interviews, and you're gonna get, like, you're more likely to get a higher paying job than someone who is less attractive. Like, that's, like, I think that's just science. Yeah.
You could, but I would like to say a mother figure rather than a woman.
Absolutely not. But I would like to say that you're saying that women, have a higher, have antidepressants, but men, I'm a social worker, so men 1 out of 10 are more likely to experience depression, but more likely to go undiagnosed and not seek therapy or help. So I do think, and women also, you have to consider the fluctuation in hormones, pregnancy, because that can alter, you know, their mental health. So I think that's kind of a moot point, but I feel like, you know, I'm not looking for a mother figure, I'm looking for an equal. So I feel like with, you know, if we're saying that women, you know, they're like going home crying, looking for men, I think it's also that societal pressure that tells you at the same time you have to have multiple women. They're telling the women you have to have that one man, that husband by a certain age, have kids by a certain age.
Bruh.
There's more pressure on them than there is men. And for, you know, lack of...
Guys, do you guys know about the Christmas cake or whatever? Who was it? I think it was Joel that told me, like, in Japanese culture, like Christmas cake, like after you turn 25, it's like you're like Christmas, like, you know, you're like the Christmas, like basically like you're done.
Of a better term, I think men have gotten off a lot easier because women have so much pressure and they get judged more harshly than men do. If we're talking about back then when men used to go home, bring home the bacon or whatever, you know,
holy shit, I haven't had bacon in like 2 days. Why'd you have to bring up bacon?
The domestic violence rate was pretty high during that time. And I'll also say that for people of color, we never really had the luxury of working one job. So my parents, you know, their parents before them, everybody always had to work, men and women. So there was always that equal opportunity for them to be able to see that they could do it together as opposed to put that one pressure.
Oh, I love that. I love that he brought that into it.
And I also would like to ask, if you guys find submissive women more attractive than dominant women, is that because it makes you feel more validated as a man? Or is there something there that you feel like feeds into your purpose as a man?
Yeah, well, it's a balance. If I'm a dominant person, I need a submissive. If I meet a dominant woman, we're going to butt heads.
What if that changes? Like, what if she grows? Because I would love everybody to be able to grow throughout life. What if she starts becoming more dominant? Is that like a...
Are you saying if she starts becoming more dominant in a relationship?
More dominant or equal to your dominant?
Oh, yeah, she's gone. She's finished. We're done.
And see, that's my thing. Like, look, I got children. I don't need somebody else to take care of. And I love your thing about, you know, the Prince Charming and everything. But you know what I need? I need a badass woman who can match my badass energy.
Yeah.
I work with my wife. And I'm going to tell you, I take care of her. She takes care of me.
Yeah.
And she's badass. And that's what I'm attracted to. I don't need a submissive that I have someone to take care of. And then it's fine. You know, if she goes through that, then I'll be there and I will take care of her. But I'm not looking for somebody, another child to take care of.
Yeah.
And have to dominate and tell, you go over there. This is where we're going to go to dinner. This is where we're going to do that. No.
Yeah.
That's why what he was saying, I was going to bring that fact
That's
up
why it's
too.
called a
lot of men are
partner.
depressed because they put it on this shield of I have to be the leader. I have to do this. And you know who goes to get help first? Women.
Okay, that totally makes sense. I think if we're talking about men not ever dealing with their emotions, it makes sense for this argument that you guys are talking about. But I'm a firm believer. I have gotten a lot of therapy in my life. I've done a lot of things for myself personally to resolve my own internal conflict. Okay, so it's a job of alpha men. The real integrated alpha man has the capacity to understand what he's feeling, why he's feeling the way that he is, articulate in a way that is productive to the dynamic. So a real man is someone that understands himself deeper at an emotional level, has taken the time to do that so he can show up as a rock, not so he can show up more emotionally.
Problem is that if you're super emotional, when we talk about the whole thing of being submissive or dominant, your woman is going to dominate you because you're so emotional.
Emotionally unstable. Let's say that. It's let's stop using emotion. Let's start using emotionally unstable.
Right. Since you're so emotionally unstable, she's going to dominate you and then she's going to lose respect for you. And that's going to teeter the waters of the relationship.
Okay. Neither party should be emotionally unstable. Okay? Like, guys should not want to date emotionally unstable women, and women should not want to date unstable, like, emotionally unstable. Like, it works both ways. Like, why are they talking like it's okay for a woman to be emotionally unstable, but not for a man? What? So it's okay. Okay, I guess I get a pass, so I could be crazier. Is that what we're saying? I get to be is that what we're saying? I'm confused.
So, I mean, you guys know dominatrix exists for a reason. And by the way, I used to personal train at dominatrix. You guys are their clients.
Not me, cowboy.
I'm being serious. Like, it's a very hidden thing. I used to date them. High positions of power, very alpha. But like, here's the.
Wait, this guy, I feel like his name is Kevin. Is he the same guy? Or he kind of looks like, I don't know if he's the same guy. He kind of looks like the guy from Bling Empire. I don't know if it's the same guy though, but it's same name and he kind of looks like him a little bit.
I think you guys put a little bit too much pressure on yourselves. It might be a societal thing. I've dated submissive women before. I find them highly annoying. Sometimes
Oh, he is? Oh, hi, Jay. He is. Oh, so he's from Bling Empire. Ugh, okay. So I've watched season 1 and 2 of Bling Empire. I couldn't watch season 3 because season 2 was so bad. And I'm trying to trying to put into account like his answers now with like his actions on the show. And I'm like, it's taking a minute because it's been a while, but interesting.
societal thing. I've dated submissive women before. I find them highly annoying. Sometimes I just want somebody to pick a choice. I like her places. She's got better taste than I do when it comes to that kind of stuff. So please go ahead. We do butt heads once in a while because she is dominant. But does that mean she lost respect or attraction for me? No, not at all. And trust me on that one. So I think it does depend on your energy. You have a very high one, right? Maybe it doesn't mix well with somebody who also has a really high dominant energy. I'm not saying that's wrong because they exist for a reason, submissive people, right? But I just think for me, when it's very submissive, I don't find that as sexy. I find that annoying.
But see, and that makes sense. And the reason why, see, what happens is the more masculine you are, the more you want the woman to be submissive. The more dominant she is, then the more.
No.
I think I'm
No. Okay, chat. Do you guys think I'm an alpha or a beta? Like, do you guys think I'm dominant or do you guys think I'm submissive? Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. You're a dummy. Okay, if you're asking me, if you guys had to guess, like if I were to look for a boyfriend or a partner, do I want a beta or an alpha? You want someone who can match your energy like any person would. So alpha. Beta can't handle you. Yeah, I want an alpha. And I think I'm an alpha. So like, what are you saying, bruh? He's literally saying like, if you're an alpha female, you have to date a bit. No, like if I'm an alpha female, I want a more alpha male. Does that make sense? I don't understand. Like Rockwell, I agree with what you're saying. Like I think I'd break them. I think I'd break somebody who's a little. If you had a beta boyfriend, he would be crying in the closet. Yeah. 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 It's true.
I think I'm pretty fucking masculine, dude. And I don't want somebody that submissive.
I'm saying that in that moment, you're in your feminine. But
Okay, so I agree with what Kevin's saying.
And I don't want somebody that submissive.
I would be abusive. So let's not do that.
I'm saying that in that moment, you're in your feminine. But go ahead.
If you and your wife have like a conversation about a disagreement and then you got like a healthy conversation and then she ends up being right in the situation, would you consider her dominating me?
No, I consider her right.
So what's your definition of like dominant? Like,
that's a good
you
point.
always have to be right.
No, it's not about right and wrong. It's about who's running the show.
So by her being right, is that not her?
No, that's just her being right in that conversation.
Yeah, a good leader would allow someone else to be right. A good leader doesn't have to be right. He wants the team to win. In fact, I'd call a man insecure if he wouldn't allow a woman to be right on the subject she was clearly.
I like that.
I do like that. And, it goes back to the question of, like, what do you find more attractive? Because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a preference.
What's the preference? It's a preference. One of the things you said is, like, when you and your partner or girlfriend get into something and it's, like, a little heated, like, I get off on that.
Me, I totally...
Oh, respect.
Don't get off on that. Like I don't need any back talk. I don't need any lip. I don't need any attitude. It's my way or the highway. Like I don't want none of it.
Didn't even have a conversation in the first place about the disagreement.
You're not having
No.
So you just don't want to be challenged. You don't want to be challenged.
Okay, that guy, purple shirt guy, he's got a small dick. I agree. He just doesn't want to be challenged.
So she's like, nope, no back talk. I'm right.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. If we're talking about a topic and she's right about the topic, that's just how. No, I'm talking about the topic.
Like an opinion of yours or things that.
No, I'm talking about.
Disagrees with.
If you make an opinion, you're saying you want no back.
No. I'm not talking about opinions. I'm talking about decisions. So we can have a conversation about a topic, but when it comes to a decision, the final decision.
But what if your decision is wrong?
If we're to have a healthy discussion about a decision, which she disagrees.
She says, I disagree.
Right. She says, so if we say, hey, she wants to do A, B, and C. And I say, no, I want to do D, E, and F.
Yep.
Right?
Doing that.
We're doing D, E, and F at the end of the day. Now, I will listen to what she says. And if I think
what
A,
if
B,
she's
and
right?
C sounds better, then I say, okay, yeah, let's do A, B, and C. Because
That sounds bad talk in the first place.
Yeah.
No, that's
even entertain the conversation.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Tell him, Angelo.
That's cool. I'm saying the final decision though is mine. So you can speak your mind, but at the end of the day,
Okay, so at the end of the day, if he chooses A, B, and C, does that not mean that it's her? Like, sure, it's your decision to follow her her choice? A, B, like if you guys end up going A, B, and C, then what is that? I'm confused.
Making the final decision.
So it's like, I'm gonna let you talk.
Yeah,
but,
let you
like,
talk. Yeah.
I'm gonna let
in
you
the end, I don't
finish.
really care. And, yeah, I'm gonna do what I want.
I said I care.
I do want to touch upon the.
Say one more thing with like.
Come on, Eddie.
Let's
Speak
clarify
up.
submissive. Let's not get that mistaken between incompetent. Like submissive does not mean incompetent. And I think you might have been talking about women that could be incompetent, where they don't have the capacity to take care of themselves at all or make any type of decision. So I think there's definitely a difference in how she shows up in the relationship compared to being able to make decisions in her everyday life.
Sure, but he doesn't want them to make decisions.
No, I didn't
Yes, Kevin, point that out.
I'll say
No, your decision's the final, no matter what.
some of the strongest women in the world right now are sitting in submissive roles because they're strong enough to think for themselves and do what they feel good in their heart. Because there are women that do want to be submissive naturally.
Yeah,
and
I
some
agree
of
with
those
that.
women are the strongest women in the world right now, especially when the world's telling them to go be something that they don't want to be.
I agree with that because I agree with that. Like there are women who just want to be mothers. Like they don't want to be a boss bitch. They don't want to work 90 hours. Like it's like, and it's fine. Like being a mom is tough, guys. Okay, it's hard.
I do agree that honestly, it is a choice. It's a preference. You know, we shouldn't speak upon like everybody. Obviously, like it's always a gray area. It's a range. It's not one side or the other. And if you guys want to be in a relationship where the woman is submissive and the woman also wants to be in a relationship where the male is dominant, that's completely fine. But the thing I want to talk about more is the fact that like you guys keep saying that like this is what women want or that like all women want this. Who are we to decide what women want? Because first of all,
Eddie.
we're not women. And second, just because of our personal experiences in our lifetime about the people we've interacted with, I feel like that's something we need to take a step back from and clarify that like, no, this is just my personal opinion. In the end, we don't know what women want. Women knows what they want, not men.
I have yet to see a relationship because I would say a relationship dynamic that is optimal has deep connection where you could say there's a deep friendship there, but also there's sexual polarity. And I've seen dynamics where there is a great friendship there and there is connection and they do live very cohesively. But when the woman is more dominant, the majority of the time, I have yet to see a dynamic where consistently over time, there is strong sexual polarity on her end in a dynamic.
And that's fine. Like if that's what you've seen. And
What does he mean by strong sexual polarity? Is he just saying like how horny she gets? What are we talking? What is strong sexual polarity? Right? That's what she's saying, right? That's what
your
he's saying.
lifetime, that's completely fine. Like,
I think
but then that's
evolutionary biology says that. I don't think it's just my personal opinion. I don't think, but like
Probably who you just surround yourself with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just saying. It's like just because you've grown up in a certain area where like people are like that, because like I could say the same thing, but on the other side, where I've seen plenty of people and plenty of relationships where like that wasn't the case, but then they're like sexually fine, you know, that they're perfectly fine, their polarity is completely fine, and they're happy. And I could say the same thing. I could keep going at you saying that like, oh, because of what I've seen or what I've experienced, dominant men, it won't work.
Yep.
But then that's dumb because there are cases where dominant women do work, but there's also cases where it doesn't.
No,
Yeah, Eddie.
it's all
They're
correct.
probably not going out saying, I'm so happy, I'm dominant, I'm a woman. They're not going around saying that. You know, they're just happy. They stick to themselves most of the time when they're that happy.
I am great at sex.
Oh, come on, man.
Who's not gonna step up?
I mean, I have a lot to learn.
So what are we discussing?
Okay.
Prove it.
Okay, you know what's funny? Low key, I bet Kevin's probably the best Kevin's probably the best at sex because he's the only one that's like humble enough to not. Like you look like a douche. I'm sorry, guys. Like if you say yes to this, like you look like a douche. Like especially the guys that just like no hesitation, like I'm walking up. Like, bruh, like where are the receipts? Can we call all your exes? Like, okay, I gotta see like how fast these people be walking.
You know, they're
Hold
just
up.
happy. They stick to themselves most of the time when they're that happy.
Let's see this. Who did,
I
like blue
am
suit
great at
definitely
sex.
did not hesitate.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, I have a lot to learn.
I'm so dead. I'm so dead. I'm so dead. I'm so dead. No hesitation.
Prove it.
Yeah, prove it.
right now.
Bro, this was a chance to redeem yourself.
No, I know, but it's just.
All right.
Actually, I'm gonna go back.
See,
With my
okay, so I forgot his was it Angelo or something like that? I forgot his name. The guy in the hat. Like he wanted to say no, but he felt peer pressure.
I'm able to not only connect physically, but also emotionally. But then I think that's the biggest trick I've learned. Not trick, but the thing I've learned about my years of being with my partner. You have to sort of keep the spice going.
I would say, I think the fact that we have a woman who keeps coming back or who keeps wanting it, I think that, that's a sign that she thinks you're great at sex. You know what I mean? Because she actively wants to keep it going and keep it.
Do you have money? Maybe she just wants your money.
Direction. I will say though, I'm better at sex with women I care about. Yeah, so I think, and me being a player and a guy who goes out and talks to a lot of different women, if with my girlfriend or like my wife or whatever like that, sex would be great.
I just want to repeat that he has a wife and a girlfriend.
With the other girls, it can still be good, but I know that I don't really put in that much effort. Because
He says that he's in a non-monogamous relationship, so his wife and girlfriend probably know about each other. So that's fine as long as everyone is in the know. I'm just thinking how can you be great at sex if you tired? If you're sleeping with all these people, aren't you tired? By the time you're done, bro, you can't be that good. You tired.
Because it's almost like I'm masturbating with someone.
And eventually, you know your partner's comfortability, what they like, what they don't like, and things, and that's how you make sex a lot better instead of sleeping with.
1,000%. Plus, you love them,
right?
So you knew if you were gonna die today and you could have sex with one person before you die, it would be that person. Right. No matter what, you could have every supermodel, every movie star, everything. Fuck all that. I want that person.
Focus so much on what they like as well. You're kind of there to pleasure them. Because you care about them so much.
Right.
Which is why you would hyperfixate on what do they like, what they don't like, and you can easily adjust yourself and put in effort for that person.
And for instance, it's so true that you said that, because my wife and I, we have this thing we call the love menu. Okay, why did we invent the love menu? We invented the love menu because we have 3 children and they're only 2 years apart. They're in the mid-20s now, but think about it. 2, 4, 6 at home, and I'm working and she's doing her thing. So we found that in our young relationship, sometimes the other person might be tired.
J Ho Circle, thank you so much for the follow. J Ho Circle, is that? Do you sleep with multiple women and you call it a ho circle? Is your name Jay? I'm sorry, I say a lot of stupid stuff here. It's just we're on the topic of sleeping with multiple women. Okay, don't be offended. Thank you for the follow.
Feelings that makes you kind of do this type of thing. So what we did is we come up with a love menu of here's the appetizers. I might not be ready for the full course tonight, but here's your appetizer because I know you like this, or here is your dessert, or here's your main course meal. And we broke it into those things. So when we do come to each other and we need that connection, it's not just
that's kind of cute.
I don't feel like it. It's kind of what's going to happen? We have a full course meal tonight, or we're just going to have some appetizers. And that's kept it spicy for us. And also, what you say, making sure we're pleasuring each other. It's not just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I need to get my rocks off. But how are you feeling about that? And how are you feeling about that? Because when you're in a long-term committed relationship,
I'm sorry, Blue Suit is just looking at him like he's crazy.
Right. And I love that. I love you talk about the amount of intention that you live with in regard to making sure that you're always evolving with it, always making sure that it's spicy. You just care. I think if you have a genuine care for the other person that you're involved with, then maybe you're not great right then and there, but it will eventually develop into being something that way. So I love that care that you demonstrate with that.
I'm interested in what you had to say. You've been very quiet on this one. You're usually
I want to hear from the 2 guys that think they're not great at sex.
All he said was, look at the receipts, He knows it.
and look, and that's a very important thing, right? Is so I think that as a man, I don't hate to say, that you should come in confidently. And I do find by and largely, it's kind of you could have the alpha beta argument. I do that thinking coming in kind of in a dominant way. There's a reason 50 Shades of Grey is so popular. There's a reason it's the most read book of all time. There's a reason there's detail in it. And I think you can say
Wait,
so
is
much
50 Shades of Grey the most read book of all time? No way.
It's about how you touch her, how you have your hands on her.
I mean, I've read
the way
it, but
you take over her in that way. And
all
that's
3
okay.
of them, but
just knowing
there's no
and
way.
seeing that expression and seeing things that happen, and as a result of that is enough
just
for me
made
to
that
know
up,
where I
didn't
stand
he?
on the subject.
The only thing I disagree with you about is I agree with that energy, that take control energy. And I think one woman does love that. But sometimes my wife likes to take control, and I love it.
Well, get up there, girl. Get up there, girl, and do what you got to do. I'll put my hands behind my head too. Yeah, cowboy. Hey, don't worry. But by and largely, yes. And then when she wants to, but even when you're on bottom, man, you still doing work, bro. It's all about dancing, bro.
I don't want to get negative, but I have sex tattooed on my chest. Can I?
Bro, it wouldn't take much. Half of it's out, bro.
It's right here on my rib.
Okay. All right. It's like a
Why?
rogue one too. Not even like a.
My daddy would kill me.
I think the biggest thing I've ever heard from my sexual partners is like, wow, you really caught me off guard. And I think that's like a big part of it.
You caught me off guard by having sex tattooed to your rib. Is that what we're talking about? I don't understand. He just whipped out, he just pulled down his shirt and said, I have a sex tattoo. But like, what was the point of that? Like, does that mean did he get a sex tattoo because that gives him power? Like, it makes him better? And I'm confused. I'm just a little confused. I'm just a tiny bit confused, chat. Does anyone understand what's going on? Okay, now, I want to hear from the guys that aren't good in bed.
Tell us why you're terrible at sex.
You missed it. He stripped.
No, I did see that. I saw it. I disagreed because I just feel like it's such a typical conversation and belief that every guy believes they're great at sex. And to be real, when I talk to my girlfriends, none of them have good sex with guys, unless it's, like you guys said, your partner. Then you can get better at it, right? And you know what they like. So that's what I mean. Like, I think I'm great with my girlfriend, but if I was to generate and say, like, I'm great at sex, I'm like, oh, I didn't, almost every girl I slept with before probably never even got off, really.
Different strokes for different folks, okay? You can't just say you're good at sex because sex is different for everyone, right? Like, somebody might like this and somebody else might think that's freaky. So I agree. I appreciate what he's saying here because it's very fucking cocky just to say I'm great at sex in general.
But to say, like, I'm great at sex, I can bring a dildo in, like, it's just like, I mean, I'm nothing against that. Like, I like all kinds of things.
I didn't mention a dildo.
Why'd you look at me like you?
I was wondering why you said that.
No, I'm just saying that, like, you still looked at him. You look like the type. No, I'm kidding. I didn't get it. But it's like, I just feel like, there's a lot for me to learn even now with my partner, and I just like to say I'm great. I don't say that to myself because I think that blocks me from something that I might not be good at, actually.
No, I agree. I completely agree with the aspect that, like, honestly, there's always room for growth. Like, going around thinking that you're like the best is like is not something that I agree with, but more so that, like, especially with someone that, like a partner, like that you actually want to give the effort into, you learn, like, it doesn't always have to go like perfect the first time, you pick up things, like, everyone's different, man and woman. So, like, honestly, like,
but that's what when that question says I'm great at sex, like, that to me tells me you could line up 10 girls and 9 out of 10 you would know exactly what to do.
Sometimes
with
it's just like a confidence thing. Like, I am confident that I can achieve good sex.
Exactly, right. That's what I'm saying. Because
and I'm confident that most of the girls you were sleeping with were probably faking it.
Because the thing is, I look at it like, because you're saying, well, being the best, you can't really say you being the best, but I disagree. I look at it as I am the best, but I'm choosing to be great with this person. And so what I'm saying is I can be really great with this one other girl, but I choose not to. And I do that purposely. And the reason why I do it purposely is because, like I was saying earlier, when we talk about friends with girls and all that other stuff, is that women have to earn good dick. That's how I look at it. You understand what I'm saying? So if I'm with a woman where I just met you at the bar and we're just hooking up, I'll give you some, like, I should say women should earn great, but I'll give her some good, but it ain't gonna be great because you haven't earned it. You're not my girl. You haven't done anything.
You're not gonna go the extra mile for her.
Right? Exactly. I'm not gonna go the extra mile for a new girl.
I agreed with the I agree with the mentality, but then not the statement.
Right, I'm just not gonna do all that for a new girl.
Okay, I don't like purple shirt more than like blue suit makes more sense than purple shirt.
I'm not gonna do that. So I can't. So what I'm saying is that the greatness comes from within you to know that you can, but you have to make the decision to do that. And I think most guys, if they care about a woman, they'll do that because that woman, in some form or fashion, has earned that type of energy from him. And that's how I look at it.
It's like, I completely agree, but I just want to change the word earn to something else.
Thank you.
Something similar, but that means a little different. Because, like, you don't want to give as much effort to, like, other people that you don't really you see, like, long-term with. But then, like, obviously, if it's, like, a partner or someone that you can see a future with, you know that you can keep, improving. You can be, like, the best, for that person.
Who thinks that great sex is more mental or more physical? Which one would you raise your hand?
It's
Well,
both.
Which one? Say
Okay.
say one of them.
Who thinks that great sex is more mental?
I mean, I think it's more mental.
Okay.
Probably more mental
Okay.
than physical.
Who thinks
actually.
great sex is more physical?
The reason why I sat down and then I stepped back is because stepping down, sitting down, it was just kind of like that societal pressure of, we all agree like men have to be really great at
Good at
sex.
it.
And I had to check myself out of my ego and take a step back because it
I
can't be
appreciate
9 out of
that.
10. It has to be 10 out of 10. I
Yeah.
know I've had, one night stands and I can't account for every single partner that I've had if they had a great experience or not. I could just be honest with myself and say I did my best, but for whoever is going to be my partner next, you have to have that sense of like open-mindedness in a way, because what they might think they want from you to make you great, you might not agree with even trying. I get what you're saying about women having to earn great, but I feel like
I don't like the word earn.
Why is it so funny coming out of your mouth?
I feel like I told you I'm a comedian. I feel like at the same time, women's needs are a lot different than men's in bed. So what might be, easy for you, like a quick 1-2, they're expecting, maybe more foreplay or more physical intimacy or, and with the whole like BDSM with like 50 Shades of Grey, I think that appeal to like a certain subset of women and their fantasies, but I don't think that accounts for all women.
I think it's a great
Agreed.
fantasy, but I think if you put most women like really say, "Do you want that?" They'd be like,
Nah, they really want it.
Women should not be in position of power.
Step up if you're willing to be canceled. Holy shit. Are you stupid?
Game over.
Really?
Just like it's
Bro.
says.
Bro.
I think
Bro.
a woman
Bro.
can be in a position of power only by herself, but not in
Bro.
relation to being in a relationship with a man. Because when she's in a relationship with a man, the man has to be the leader. The man has to be the one that's guiding the situation, directing the situation. If it's in any other situation by herself with work, with her friends or whatever, she can do whatever she wants to do.
Okay, let me just tell you guys, okay? First off, I love men, right? I have a lot of good men in my life, okay? But some of y'all are idiots, okay? So, like, if you want a sister to follow one of those idiots, holy shit, nah, man. Like, if you end up marrying an idiot, well, one, if you end up marrying an idiot, I guess that's on you, but, I don't know, people change. Maybe he wasn't an idiot when you married him, but then he became one. Nah, man. Like, if, you're not driving the car off the cliff. Okay, like if there's gonna be a cliff and you're in the car, like you better switch seats with me because I'm not following you off the cliff. What the are you talking about? Like, not all men are leaders. I'm sorry. I'm not following
Game
you anywhere.
over.
Holy crap.
Your game is over.
I called it. I was like, I don't like purple shirt.
I first want to ask because there was a lot of like.
Oh wait, also like I just want to say like the beta versus alpha thing. I know a lot of alpha guys that would probably be a better representation on this segment than some of the ones here. Because like the beta guys here are making a lot of sense, right? But like I don't even like the label of alpha versus beta because I think there's a negative connotation with being a beta already, like a societal connotation. So I don't even like the labels. But I think they did a really bad or maybe good, I don't know. Like, it's like very extreme. Like the alphas here are like very extreme. Like I have guy friends who are alphas that I think would make a lot more sense in their reasoning and logic than like some, like I don't think the people that they chose, I think Kevin's probably like the more like, logical one of the alphas, but I still, I don't know. It's not looking so,
Like
it's not looking
has
so
to,
good for
have
them.
tos, but like not really a reason behind it. Like, can I ask like, what's your reason behind like why a man has to be in the power, like in power? Why can't a woman be in power?
Power is such a weird word. I would say more like the leadership role. And the thing is that a man has to lead a woman. He has to guide a woman because what happens is that when it's the opposite, when
I
a
got
woman is
Google
leading
Maps.
That man, she usually loses respect for him. When she's in a relationship with a man who is, under her, who's submissive to her in a lot of different situations, then she starts to lose respect for him because she's looking for a man to lead and guide her. If you notice, they have sex with the bad boys, but then the nice guys get tossed to the side.
Okay, I hate that so much. I hate that. I hate the nice guy finishes last thing. I fucking hate that. Girls should date nice guys. Okay, that's it.
You see,
I
like,
can
why
go
is
on
that?
forever on that.
Well,
so
if
I'm
you
just,
look at them psychologically, they have past traumas and issues probably. But like look, there's women for you, right? I mean, like, you're on a different scale. What I would say, some women want a guy like you.
Kevin's basically trying to say nicely, like, you're crazy, man, but there are also crazy women. So, you know, you're good.
Because they don't want to do anything, right? They don't want to take that position. I'm around a lot of women who don't want that. They're in positions of power, not just in work, career, at home. I know a lot of them. I do business. I find women much more pleasant to do business with. But when you're talking about maybe being at home, I don't know. It's just like, I think when you get into your part, your end of the pond, it can get a little bit mucky. You
Yeah, see, Kevin's probably the most moderate alpha, I guess.
know what I mean? And I don't really subscribe to that as well.
I heard you say you were from New York. I lived in Manhattan for 30 years as a fashion designer.
Oh
in the heart
shit,
of
he's from New
Manhattan.
York. Oh,
She was working as a fashion editor. I held it down with the 3 kids.
please.
I was the one
Oh, he lives in New York.
bringing the money home. I was the one doing
That's
that.
too close.
After my son, my youngest, went back to school, she went back to work. I always wanted to have my own collection. She was like, you should do that now. So guess what? She had the job. She paid the bills while I was building my company. So I could be strong in our relationship and be a man in our relationship, but I also got to know what it means to have a partner next to me.
Yeah.
And not someone that I have to lead.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really important to specify what leading means. And so right now we're talking about, you talked about, okay, we do the chores. Sometimes she pays more, sometimes I pay more. I think it's looking at a really superficial level. I think what you look at in a relationship, when you look at leadership and the one that is following per se, is who's the one holding down the emotional space? Like, who has the capacity to show up as the rock the majority of the time in a dynamic? And if that is the woman, I believe, for the most part, the polarity gets thrown off and there will be a deficiency in the sexual attraction that she'll have for you. If you are more excessively emotional and unstable than your wife, I do believe that's going to lead to issues in the relationship.
A man's job is to be the mountain.
Okay, and again, I just want to repeat, men and women should both not be toxic. It's not like women have a past to be emotionally unstable, okay? We should not be dating emotionally unstable people, regardless of if they are male or female. Both genders should be emotionally stable. That's all I'm saying.
That a woman's emotional waves crash into. Like, straight up. So,
Wait, what did you
job
say?
is to be the mountain that
And your wife, I do believe that's going to lead to issues in the relationship.
a man's job is to be the mountain that a woman's emotional waves crash into. Like, straight up.
Okay, but then what about your emotional waves?
So women are always going to be more emotional than men. Men should be the stable ones. Men don't need to be crying in front of women.
Okay, I know so many, there are women, I know women, and I know men. I know women who are more stoic, and men who are more, and he's gonna say that, okay, it's fine.
And ideally, they're not splitting chores. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but I think that if a woman cannot look up to you in some way, then she cannot respect you. And if she cannot respect you, she cannot love you.
I totally just,
Yeah.
totally, totally just.
And the only reason I didn't come sit down is because I have some really, really good women in leadership roles in my businesses, and they are absolute leaders. Now they might lead under me, but I think they stand alone as leaders, and I respect them enough that I would never come sit down over that particular statement because it's too vague. But in the relationship, yes, sir, I do agree that a man should be the leader. He should be the breadwinner, and he should be the one solving all the problems out in the world and emotionally at home.
Okay, and how's he gonna do that? By sleeping with 50 other women? Like, I can't, like, blue suit, like, everything that you say that sounds good, I can't get over the fact that he said that he wants to sleep with multiple women. I can't get over that fact. If he never said that, I would be on board with him a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like, he talks about providing for the wife, providing for her, like all her needs, whatever, being the mountain that her emotion, okay, maybe I wouldn't have so many emotions if you weren't sleeping with so many people.
I'm glad again that you two say for work it's fine, but when it comes to our relationship, I got to be the one to wear the pants, and okay, let's not say pants. We'll use the person's words. I got to be the mountain that her emotions crash into. I tell you guys, we can be very emotional too, and I know there's a lot of guys in my 55 years that are way emotional to some of these women out here now that are taking charge. So I think that's
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. They are, but if you notice,
and I don't think it hurts the relationship either.
and if you notice, isn't it weird that nowadays they're talking about all these single, sexless men and all these guys having issues? Why do you think that is?
They're becoming more emotional than ever.
Exactly.
I think women are putting up with less bullcrap.
No,
Yep.
they're not
putting up.
I am not a sexless single guy.
No, I'm not saying you.
No, I'm just saying this. But
No one said you were.
my girlfriend is an emotional rock for me.
That's what I mean.
I'm sorry, but I gotta
Thank
strongly
you.
disagree with everything you say. I'm also a breadwinner right now. It wasn't always like that though.
Thank you.
She's going through a time and she wants to actually do something for herself, and I totally support that. But when it comes to an emotional, whatever you just said, that analogy, look, I mean, I think that's the problem also with a lot of toxicity that goes on, because a lot of men have emotions, you don't know how to express it, and then it turns into this opposite toxicity. How do I know this? I used to be one of them.
Me too.
Like it feels like a lot of these like rich millionaires are the ones that like have huge high divorce rates and things of that sort. And I think it's because they're just genuinely unhappy. Like, is your woman with you for your security, or did they actually like you as a person? And we're starting to see that, women want me at first, but I don't think it ends well, because after a while, like, they want you for your security. They don't want you for who you are as a person and things of that sort. And that's why we see these millionaires and all these, like, really alpha males getting high divorce rates, because I think at first it starts off with, like, security.
Money doesn't make you alpha.
Yeah, I think so.
No, not at all, man.
I'm about to say, you educate me. That's why I came here.
A man can just be friends with an attractive woman.
Oh, a man can just be friends with an attractive woman. This one's always interesting because, chat, do you guys remember like a few months ago, I forgot who it was. I think we banned him because he like got so offensive towards the end. But there was a guy in chat that was just like, guys and girls cannot be friends. Do you guys remember that? And then he even asked, he was like, Jay was on the Discord and he was just like, oh, you're telling me, like, Jay, like if Alice wanted to sleep with you right now, you would say no? And then Jay was literally like revolted. He was like, no, I don't want to sleep with her. And then the guy was like, yeah, right. And I'm literally just like, what the man? Like, you guys remember that guy? Holy shit, that was intense. Like it was so weird. Like, I promise you, like I have guy friends who would never, ever sleep with me like 1,000 years. You know what I mean? And but there are people that think that the statement is like a man, like, I'm interested. Let's see.
Can?
Tat.
A man can just be friends with an attractive
No
woman.
technicalities, bro.
So I think it's all about, again, as we've been saying before, it's all about choices. I think if you find a woman attractive, it depends on, are you going to choose to pursue her or not? But for some of us, like if we're speaking from personal experience, I've met many attractive women, and that's not the only thing that, I'm looking for. It's also about personality. So,
We're all gonna get ugly and old. Thank you.
she can be a 10, but if it's like the personality is just, someone who doesn't challenge me on a spiritual level, emotional level, someone who also is like emotionally unavailable, like, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I have friends who I would consider very attractive, but then at the same time when I think about it, I wouldn't be able to stand like being alone in a room with them for
It's me and Jay.
like more than like 10 minutes, you know what I mean?
I can acknowledge if like certain female friends of mine are attractive, but doesn't mean I'm like sexually attracted to them. And it comes to a point where like I see them as like sisters or just such close friends that even like the thought of them naked like grosses me out.
Yeah.
Because like I just don't see them that way. I see them as like very close, like almost like family in some cases and things of that sort. And sometimes like you grow up with certain women and you see them as like a sister, or you see them as a close friend, and you just grow up and you don't see her like that.
You can, like, literally what he's saying, like, I agree. Like, you can objectively know, like, oh, this person is attractive. But does that mean I am attracted to them? Does that make sense? That's two different things. Knowing someone is attractive versus actually being attracted to them. That's like two very different things. Like, I've met like super attractive people that I am not attracted to, and then I've been attracted to less physically attractive people than Am I making sense? You guys know what I'm saying, right? You guys know what I'm saying.
Fundamentally, what's natural and what is possible, I think, are two different things. Is it natural to not be attracted to a very attractive woman to you? I don't think so. But with a lot of intention with it, and your priorities are elsewhere, and you're very intentional with how you're showing up in that space, I think you can do it. And I think that was the question, if it can be done, not if it's natural or not.
Huh. All right, let's hear it. Let's hear the other side.
If I'm attracted to you, honestly,
Oh my god, I already know what he's gonna say. Is he that guy that we banned in chat? Is he that guy? I feel like he's the guy we banned in chat. Guys, like a purple shirt,
if
like
I'm
he's the
attracted
guy
to
we
you,
banned.
honestly, I'm trying to smash. You understand
Bro, that's literally what he said. He was just like, any one of your guy friends, if you are down to smash, they're ready to go. I'm like, that is not true. That is not true.
We gotta have sex, and we have to be in some type of sexual situation, or I don't really want to, interact with you. On top of that, I don't believe in giving women non-sexual attention unless we're in a relationship. And the reason why is because I feel like non-sexual attention from a man towards a woman is very valuable. So I'm not just giving you that just to be friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just going to do that for you. And so what it is that if I'm going to do that for you, you have to be under my program, which means that we're in some sort of sexual relationship between me and you.
Did anyone in chat understand what the he just said?
You see what I'm saying? So that's how I look at that.
I think that men and women can be friends. It's just not because the man wants to. Most often, it's the man is trying to sleep with the woman.
Right.
And he's trying to hang around long enough for her to slip up and make that happen. I mean, let's keep it 100.
Exactly.
Right? So, can they? Yes. And that would have been the technicality. Like, when I saw you moving, I'm like, must be something there, right? But overall, most of the time, you're not going to see a man be friends with a very overweight woman. You're not going to see a man be friends with a very unattractive woman unless there's some kind of financial reward there. So, by and large,
that's
I
so
don't buy
offensive.
guy friends, particularly with any girl I'm seeing. It's like, yeah, right.
I think when I think about it, like, and I had a
That's so
technicality on the other
offensive.
side, because I'm like, yeah, part of me really believes that can happen. But then I go back to my experience in life and my friends, and it's really hard. I was running over there in my head, like, should I sit down? But I was running all these scenarios from life experience of my friends who've said that, girls and guys, because it's not just guys, and it's never worked out that way. It just never is. And I think if you find a person can be an attractive person, and you not find that person attractive and you be friends.
You have friendship
But I
and
think
attraction.
That's my thing.
Yeah,
Part
you
of a
can't do that.
relationship is friendship and getting
Right.
along. And then on top of it, you find that person attractive.
No way.
I just think it's a very rare thing. Yes.
I agree, but again, you can you can admit that someone's attractive without being attracted to them. Like, objectively speaking, like, you can say that they're attractive, but I'm not attracted to every single attractive person I see. Does that make sense? I'm not Kyun.
Person can be attracted to me and you not find them attractive, and I can be friends with that person. But if I'm finding that, or if you're finding that person attractive, and you build a friendship,
And you connect.
then
you probably want to be with them.
that's
Like,
I don't think Adam, like I said, it doesn't exist. But to me, just again, in my experience in life and just knowing my friends and people, I don't know one that has worked out that way.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with like your own experiences. Obviously, if that's what you've seen or that's what you personally experienced, that like you yourself couldn't be in a friendship with a woman, like, again, that's your personal experience though. Whereas the question is like, can any man be in a regular friendship with a woman?
Like a real friendship, like they're actually really friends.
Yeah.
And he not want to sleep with her and find her attractive? No.
I think it's BS.
Because like at that point, like we're also talking about like, now we're talking about like what is an attractive woman, right? Are we talking about just looks? Because in this case, like there are people who like honestly don't like have sexual like desires for a woman who isn't like emotionally like.
I think is she attractive to you?
Yeah.
I think that's like the basis of it. When you look at specific situations, so for some of these females that work for you, for example, if they're very attractive, do you feel, I would imagine you have the capacity to compartmentalize that?
Gift from God. Yeah, man. The second I sign their check, it's gone.
It's gone, right? So I think it's the same thing with friends as significant others as well. It's like I have the ability to compartmentalize it where it's like, all right, this attraction just dissipates.
So is that the barrier that can make a man friends with an attractive woman? If there's that barrier of him being in a relationship, or you working for them?
Well, first of all, we're not friends. You work for me.
Right.
You know, I care about you fully. You're part of the family, but you work for me. We're not personal friends. And me and you will not be in an atmosphere we're alone.
Right.
Okay.
So when you go back to it, is it a thing where if you're both single, do we all think that you could be friends with an attractive woman? If we're both single.
Don't know.
Nope.
I don't know.
Well, no.
I don't.
No.
A man
I don't know, chat. I have a lot of guy friends, and I don't think they all want to sleep with me. So I honestly I feel bad for people who say like they can't. Like people who say like they can't be just friends with the opposite gender. I feel bad for them because I feel like you're missing out.
should not cry in front of his kids.
A man should not cry in front of his kids. I mean,
Very
like,
popular.
I don't think anybody wants to cry in front of anyone, right? But
It's not going to be popular to say this. But ideally, you're not going to cry in front of your kids. They cry
ideally,
to
you don't cry in front of anyone.
Is it fair? No. Is life fair? No. Is the dynamic between a man, a woman, a child fair? No. But personally for me, I want to take that responsibility of being the one that's stronger than all of them. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that responsibility. I want that responsibility in my life. I want to feel like I was a hero to them in every way. And I don't think a man that cries in front of his family is not the hero. But ideally, I'm not going to be doing that.
You know, it's weird. I've never actually seen my dad cry till this day. Like, not even once. The kids is looking to their father for that strength. And so if they're seeing their dad cry, right, I feel like that creates fear in the situation the kid has with their father. If you're crying in front of your kids, it's the same thing as crying in front of your girl. It's a bad representation of what you're supposed to be in that situation for them.
Now, I'll tell you when I do cry. Bro, when you see like one of those kids with Down syndrome get put in a high school basketball game, he starts nailing threes and the gym goes crazy, bro, I'll be crying my ass off. I'm so happy for the kid. It's like happy. I'm like laughing. I'm like, you know, but other than that, man, no, not at all. Calm the heat.
Can the person who like has kids?
I was gonna, but look, I have a father who I've never seen cry, so I get that. I was that man. Again, you have to understand my kids. My middle daughter, who I'm going to talk about, is 26 years old. Now, for some reason, out of all three of my children, that middle girl, from the time she turned 13 to 17, 18, we just butted heads.
Oh, that's
butted
weird.
heads, right? And the relationship wasn't going to where it should be going. And I want to be close to my kids. We sat down. She was about 20, maybe 19, 20 years old. We had a heart-to-heart about our feelings and how we really felt about each other, and I cried. And 6 years later, some years later, better relationship than we've ever had because she saw a human part of me and not just me trying to be what you guys are talking about, which is a good thing too. You can count, my wife can count on one hand how many times she's seen me cry. I think my son had and my other daughter haven't.
Yeah, don't
But
cry
I'm gonna
every
tell you
other
for
day.
that enriching
but-
moment, and that's again just coming with
you
years
know.
of having those tears with her and talking about how important it was
Yeah.
that our relationship worked, and then hearing her come back and saying she felt the same way and breaking through that. I'm the father, I'm going to be the strong one, made her break down, and both of us be closer than we ever have been.
Can I ask you a question about that? Do you think that if you could have set her down earlier than the age that you did and just had a vulnerable conversation that maybe it could have happened, like it wouldn't have had to build all the way up to tears?
No.
She wouldn't have been able to hear it, or
No, because what was going on from my understanding of our relationship is that, you know, young people, I'm very independent, my children are very independent. They don't want to be controlled in a certain way. And as a father, you still have to keep that control. She was only seeing that side. So she was only seeing this domineering person trying to squish what she thought that she wanted to be or who she wanted to be. And that wasn't it. I was just trying to play the father role. I saw my dad do it. Never a tear. He's that man, you know, and I was raised by that man, and I took that on. I remember sitting my son down and telling him, boys don't cry. And I still to this day regret that. And I still talk to him, he's 24. I still talk to him about I was wrong because I do not think that's the way we're supposed to live our lives. And I think that's why you go back to the statistic of how a lot of men are depressed. We're supposed to have emotions. We're human. Now, I don't believe every time you turn around, you should be in front of your children, ooh, and your wife, like, you know, I think that's a drastic thing. But I know dropping a tear as a father for me made a relationship and so much closer and so much better than it would. I'm telling you, I know than it would have ever been.
you don't think you could have shown that vulnerability without the tear?
No.
My dad was capable of expressing emotion. Now, standpoint of being a whiny little baby, he held it down on my family. My parents are the happiest couple ever seen, still to this day. But my dad was able to, and still is able to, at funerals, be able to show emotion during movies when he feels the emotion, be able to show up and do that. I'd never see him whining about like what you guys are saying, whining about just issues happening in his life, like at work and what he's doing. Never. He deals with that on his own. But he is showing up vulnerably when he is experiencing an emotion, not from a whiny baby place, but from a freeness that he has with it. And I even think like when I first went off to college, you know, he's tearing up too.
So I would just like to say, this is a field I specialize in. I'm a program manager for a nonprofit that focuses on mental health. And a lot of the times what we get in our clients are men that are coming in dealing with childhood trauma, of these expectations and standards of trying to live up to the quote unquote masculine ideal. So a lot of the times we have men coming in because they're still trying to seek approval in their 30s, or they're still trying to get that male validation, you know, in their 40s. And it goes back to making sure we understand the difference between regulating your emotions and suppressing them. I think that's why I said earlier, like, to be an alpha, you have to be balanced. You guys can be emotional as well. You guys can be vulnerable. It doesn't make you less than. Just like a woman being more assertive doesn't make her less than a woman.
Yeah.
If you feel like you don't want to promote
Tell him,
being
Anthony.
emotional in front of your kids, you know, I've asked the question, does that kind of fall into toxic masculinity for your son?
Well, first, I didn't say anything about not being vulnerable. Vulnerable is the word that I brought up. So I think being vulnerable is very important. I think physically crying in front of your kids is not ideal. This is not about
Crying
an
in front
ego
of
stroke or
anyone
trying
is
to be
not
overly
ideal,
masculine.
though.
I think being vulnerable
Like, do I
as a man
mean
is
to
one of the
cry
strongest things a man
on
can actually
stream?
do.
No. Does it
It's
happen
just that I don't think
sometimes?
that crying, particularly sobbing, is going
Like,
to be
I
very
never
healthy
planned
as
to
the
cry.
leader and the person that they're supposed to come to for that safety and that care.
But isn't real vulnerability then you're just not being honest? Be like, yo, babe, sorry, I had this thing. I left and I cried, but now I'm here to be strong with you. That's real vulnerability.
I can't think of a scenario where I'd leave to cry.
Yeah.
See, I guess.
But needing feels performative. I'm trying to show you how vulnerable I am.
No, it's not necessarily showing. It's
I think you can be very vulnerable without crying.
Yeah. People just express their sadness in different ways.
You can be, but I heard what you guys were saying earlier, and I agree with that. It's like, you know, you don't want to be a crybaby about things. We don't, right? But it's like to be at, for instance, if I'm at a
Yeah.
funeral and this person meant something,
Yeah, it's healthy.
tell me,
It's healthy
no,
to
can't
cry.
do that. Or I see something on television or
Feels
a movie
good.
that moves me, like, you can't do that. It's like kind of
Remember
like
that
a
time I cried
very
over that controller? I felt so
weird
much better
thing,
after I
and
cried.
I think you guys touched upon that.
There's just like a weird stigma behind like crying because it seems like we keep associating crying with weakness.
Yeah,
And
sometimes it
the
takes
issue is that,
strength to cry, Eddie.
Again,
Tell
there
him.
is a big difference between crying and sobbing.
Yeah.
So hysterically sobbing, like I think that should only do if you like say you lost a loved one, like really
Okay, I
close to
might
you,
have
like,
hysterically sobbed
like
when the
say like
controller
your
wasn't
significant
working.
other, say like horrible accident, like stuff like that. You know, like there are obviously scenarios for that. For like regular crying, again, kind of like we all touched upon that. We're not saying that you have to cry every other day, but like there are like cases where it's okay. It should be okay.
As kids, we look up to our dads to be able to how do we react to certain scenarios. Do you feel that like, okay, like for instance, like my dad didn't cry. I don't think I've ever seen my dad cry. I've seen very bad like sad scenarios, straight face, you know, and I feel like I developed that as like a kid. Like as I got older, like I have to keep this inside because that's exactly just how I saw my dad do it. How would you basically like explain to your kids how they feel like they should let out their sadness? Should they keep, especially if you feel like you're not really expressing sad emotions in front of them?
I think probably the best thing I can do is like explain to you what my goal as a father is to explain them the truth of the world. Truly, hey, this is the truth of the world. This is how the world is. Here's some competencies and things you can do to set yourself up, because my ultimate goal for my children is to have choice. So I can have a son, he could be gay, he could cry.
Okay.
He could be straight, he could cry.
Okay.
Like I could have daughters that were dominant masculine. I don't care as long as they
Okay.
have choice. I personally, my preference and what I
can get behind
aspire
that.
to be and what I want to be and what I get to be is that strong man for my family.
We all kind of believe that like we have to be a hero for our kids, right? Especially when they're super young. And honestly, I agree. I think it's totally like you need to be a role model for your kids, you know, and you need to be a safe space, which I completely agree with. But things happen as they grow up, you know what I mean? Especially when they go towards their teen years, when they start being more in touch with their emotions, when they're actually like feeling a lot of different things and feeling the pressure of society and everything that's collapsing around them. Sometimes they don't just need like a hero, they need a father to like commune with, to like actually talk with.
Oh, wait, that's it? Oh, that was kind of an abrupt ending. Okay, just some quick thoughts for me. Purple shirt guy, I did not understand anything he said. I did not agree with anything he said. I think he's like no. Blue shirt guy, he said a lot of things that I can get behind, honestly, but I just can't get over the fact that he said that he like wants to sleep with multiple women, or like men are designed to sleep with multiple women. Like, to me, like, just him saying that kind of contradicts a lot of the things that he said afterwards, because everything that he was saying was like built upon like men should be the providers, the supporters, like whatever, like you're supposed to provide for your wife 100% everything. And I just don't think sleeping around with 50 other women is going to provide for your wife. So he, like, I don't dislike purple shirt. I did not like him. Blue suit guy, I don't necessarily dislike him. I just think he's a little contradictory, you know? Kevin, I liked. I didn't realize he was Kevin from Bling Empire. I liked him from season 1 and 2 of Bling Empire. I didn't watch season 3 because season 2 was kind of bad. But I liked Kevin from Bling Empire. And I liked him here as well. I think a lot of what he said I could get behind and I could agree with. The last alpha, this guy, the gray suit guy, right? Okay, him. So, I agreed with a lot of what he said as well, I guess. I don't know. He didn't really say anything like that, like, strong, I guess. I feel like a lot of what he said was just like, the main thing that he said was just if a woman, like, I guess his main point was just like, if a woman is above a man, the sexual attraction is like not there anymore. That's the main thing he said. And I don't necessarily agree with that. As far as the betas go, I really liked Anthony, the guy with the red cap. I liked a lot of what he had. Like, I liked him a lot, actually. I liked him a lot. Actually, I liked all of the betas. I forgot his name, but I really liked him. Like, he's very well spoken, and a lot of his points made a lot of sense. And even the guy that like didn't make a great first impression, I forgot his name. What's the guy that looks the leopard guy? Oh, Angelo. But
I wasn't really.
He was a little weird at first, but I actually thought he, like, you can, like, when you listen to him talk, like, he's actually pretty intelligent. I would say, like, a lot of his questions, like, he would ask a lot of questions that would I don't know, like, lead to a greater discussion. Like, I liked him too. I liked all the betas, which is like not so good for me because I always say I want to date an alpha. So I don't know where this is going. But what did you guys think, chat? Based off what they said, would you date any of them? I know which one I would not date. I was surprised how open they were about cheating, almost like it's normal to them. Okay, so so here's the thing. I don't want to get it too twisted, right? Because technically the question wasn't like, how many of you guys have cheated? The question was like, something like, do you believe that men are like designed to want to sleep with multiple women, right? So technically it wasn't like, have you cheated? It was like are men cause technically they could be like, yes, I think men are designed to sleep with multiple women, but I have not cheated because society won't let me. I don't know. I'm scared. I don't know. You know what I mean? John says, I consider myself a beta because I rather have people take lead or make decisions for me in terms of a social activity. But if I really want to do or say something, I just do it. Does that make me alpha? I don't know. So like for me, I don't think I'm an alpha. Looking at myself, I actually don't think I'm an alpha, but everybody else thinks I'm an alpha. Like, not just chat, like everyone in like my real life, like everybody thinks I'm an alpha as well. So I guess that makes me an alpha. But like for me, like I can lead. I have a lot of opinions. So sometimes it just works out that I lead. But if I had a choice, I would love to be a follower. That's why I was like, I kind of agree with what that guy was saying. Blue suit, like I kind of agreed what blue suit and gray suit were saying, because like, like you guys can tell for like Lost Ark, like if I didn't have Cat, if I didn't have G, if I didn't have like my static, right? If I didn't have my static and I wanted to keep playing the game, I would figure it out. I would. But if I have competent people who are willing to lead, that like I respect and like I trust that they know what they're doing, like 100% I would rather be the follower. Like, do you guys know how much work it is to be a leader? The only way I would sign up to be a leader is like if everybody else is incompetent and I'm the best person for the job. Well, the guys who cheated don't lie about sleeping with other women. They did all say that lying about sleeping. Oh, that is true. That is true. Oh yeah. And then that one, the purple shirt guy even said like, purple shirt guy is in a non-monogamous relationship. So he can sleep with multiple people and it still not be cheating. Which I agree with. Like, as long as everybody's in the know, as long as like no one's like being surprised, it's not cheating.